only 3 people in the world have one of these, and only one of them is Irish. I have one, Angelo has one, now you have one.
This is beautiful. I don't know. I don't know what to say, Russ. It's,
Say anything. Slip it out, see how it looks. Feel good?
yeah.
And how strong I made you? And how strong? You're my kid. Nobody can fuck with you. Nobody.
Al di là del bene più prezioso ci sei tu. Al di là del sogno più
Yo, what's going on? First of all, rest in peace to my mother and Anita Cuevas. I love you. Rest in power. Wouldn't be here without you. My pops too. And this is NPC The Game Live. Gabriel Carbo in the back rooms of Taiwan, the Real District 13. Big topic today. Big chat. Chat's on fire already. Appreciate y'all. Always. You got everybody. Dominic, first out the gate. Patrick, my brother. Markella, how you doing, sweetheart? Thanks for stopping by. Shout out Buddha in the house, bitch. What's going on, nephew? I made you strong. You make me strong, man. Joe Cool in the house. What's going on, OG? Respectfully, man. Always a pleasure, man. Ashima Alexander. Around here, she's the Oracle. What's going on, Sam? Yeah, that music was great. I grew up listening to that with my mom. I walked the stage with her when she was 18, in high school in her stomach. Yeah, a lot of Linda Ronstadt, man. That's a beautiful song and singer. What's going on, Sam? Like I said, oh, Mama Suli, good to see you. Always a pleasure. It's been a minute. Locksmith Jeremy in the house for sure. Roland 777. How's it going, player? Yeah, a lot of. What's this comment? Interesting. Take that down. So the Panelverse is a perfect cover for intelligent agencies, paid ops to have their cover provided and design Panelverse too easy, cheap, effective, not being used by intelligence agencies. There's a lot of weirdo stuff going on for sure. But we're here today to talk about that, and I guess in a roundabout way, because it's all connected. Our panel group therapy sessions, YouTube lives help us cope during difficult times, and streamers help. You know, because mental health is a big thing. It is. Some say who prescribe to the all is mind, universe is mind, that it's everything. The mental is everything. Yeah. I'm glad you're doing great. Yeah. Mental health is everything here. A lot of people talk about it. There's a lot of mental health advocates on YouTube and on Twitch. I mean, we've had this conversation, me and Buddha and I, many times about how a lot of folks, they use the YouTube as therapy, especially the live panels. And I have to say, I put myself in that category for sure. But why? Difficult times, man. Difficult times. Was it Mel said the other day on Flow States that everybody, a bike ride can be seen as therapeutic. And I said to that, like, yeah, it's healing. We're all trying to heal ourselves. You don't have to make it like some like overly melodramatic, like this is what I'm going to talk about today. The trauma I experienced growing up, But even if you don't, even if you're trying to be lighthearted, you stay long enough on these panels, it's going to come out. The realness is going to come out. Something that's bothering you, that's been bothering you, something that you need help with. We get to talking about group therapy, right? Because my skimming of what group therapy is just a group of people talking with some type of facilitator leading the way. And even not just for the panelers and chatters, but also for the streamers. And live streaming can be a dream, or like a dream job, or like a very excellent hobby that you're passionate about. However, it can also cause some unhealthy levels of stress and anxiety that most people that listen to the live streamers dismiss or don't even think about, and those live streamers even dismiss themselves, don't even think about it. And like any career choice or hobbyist, it has its risk, and it's important for streamers to prioritize self-care and reach a balance between on-screen time and personal life. That probably goes for listeners too, because I'm a streamer and a listener. And it's a true life story. He told me 2 years ago, before it happened, that he had seen through different analytics and just his ears to the street that he's an Aquarius. He got that Aquarius thinking ahead all the time. Things that he thinks about, for example, may seem weird at first to the masses, but after a while they become the avant-garde, cutting edge of what's really going on. And he had said that this YouTube was going to make streaming super easy, live streaming panels and whatnot. And I was like, okay. He's like, get ready, because these panels are literally support groups, and the host can be seen as your peer, of course. We're your peer, but we're leading the group and facilitating. Because if we're doing what we're supposed to do, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, I'm sharing, being authentic and sharing the common experience with the other group members via the chat and the panelists, and it's free for the panelists sometimes, and also for the listeners, right? Whereas like group therapy costs money, and sometimes your insurance won't even cover it. But as long as you got your internet going, you can hop on these streams and get some opportunities to share your experiences. Because typically support groups are process oriented, meaning like they have like a free flowing way about them, and it gives opportunities for people to really share some things that they normally wouldn't tell other people. And the way we do these streams, these panels, is like in a conversation matter. And like I've been thinking about, like, they can be seen as little debates in the conversation every now and then, because we don't agree with everybody, obviously. But me as the host, I have opportunities to ask questions because what I'm doing here is I'm trying to figure out what's really going on with me, like what my place is in the world, how it relates to Benjamin. What's up, Benjamin? You know, this is for you and me and everyone else that's partaking. All y'all, like, what's going on? Like, why are we here? What's our purpose? You know, are we doing what we're supposed to be doing? Where can we get better? So if I'm asking the right questions in myself, and then others that come up here, maybe we can ignite this spirit of self-reflection instead of always pushing out everything and projecting it. And this happens, like, it's a support group, man. The last couple of days is we've seen it here on NPC The Game Live, this channel. I mean, that's the name of the channel, but I'm just Gabriel. I'm Gabriel, man. But this NPC Live platform, NPC The Game Live platform, we had interesting breakthroughs and seeing people in transition. Literally, brother Jack Talcott, you know, he hopped on, and he was, you know, we saw what a big community of support he has, and people just say, yeah, it's just YouTube. However, so many of us are this is our life, or at least a big part of it, we'll say. And like how we can get involved in other people's lives. This is where the parasocial relationship comes in. And a lot of us have stuff invested in watching, for example, Jack's life, because he's so open about it. So when we said he was going to go homeless, or, you know, move from his home to a new unknown spot, people were like, what the hell is going on? So it's just having him pop up was cool, knowing that he's safe and everything's good. With that said, though, being in a new place and new surroundings can definitely be can make you take a step back, be scary and uncomfortable. And I could see that a little bit in him maybe at that time, but he held strong, and maybe it's because he has support group, you know. And then the next day we had Paul and Slave. Yesterday he showed up with Patrick, two Patricks there with me. He showed up and gave his testimony, what he's been doing, and how this panel verse, or this section of it, I call it the all of the above sector, has been taking its toll on him mentally, physically, and spiritually, and how he needed to take a detox, and like how that was going. And he definitely seemed different in a good way. Different, but the same. Because like he mentioned, it's always been there, and I've seen it, you know, the positive Paul. Definitely, because why I wouldn't be watching it, listening to him if that wasn't the core of what he was trying to do. Well, with that said, you know, the man was streaming just like Jack every day, basically. So you're gonna see different sides of that good person that most of us have that are meeting up here. We have at our core. We're gonna see different versions of it from time to time, just like how the moon flips through different signs. I think we're in Aries right now. The moon being the self, you know. So it was interesting to hear his story and him getting better and learning and evolving. But then because of all the momentum we've had from our experiences with other people and with ourselves, there's some shit you got to face, and you get pushback, and that's what happened at the end. And I get it, yeah, man. I'm looking at the chat now. I'm looking at it. Yeah, thanks, Jeremy, for the 500 subs along the way. Yeah, we got that. Now I'm just a matter of clipping out some of this music I love to play, so I can like make the submission for get that monetization. So I'll probably be finishing up with that today. Yeah, and then you can drop the donos Until then, you can always buy me a coffee. Yeah, if you like, right there. I'll put the link in the description. Donos and memberships. It's actually better than YouTube in a sense. It takes out less of a percentage. Yeah. What's up, Lady Luck? How's it going? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, panel versus and S therapy, huh? Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna read some of these articles with y'all. Give my take on it. Ooh, that's weird. Side. Okay. We got the black void of space behind me. Bring some color to it. There we go. My favorite people. Rebecca NPC, Ben NPC, young Gabriel NPC, young Anita NPC. Yeah. We good. So read this thing about group therapy, because we always talk about it a lot. But what's really going on with it? Tell me if y'all can see that. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, beautiful family, huh? Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Markella, for the 1 and also for the beautiful family. What's up, Panelverse? How's it going? Yeah. Yeah, Lady Luck's doing a broadcast tomorrow. Colts live tomorrow. Before I go on, she's gonna get started out there. So I think she's gonna go on her time. Because I'm going on at probably like 10 o'clock. So maybe she's going on 3 hours before. If Yeah, we got to put the link in before the broadcast is over for that. It's going to be a good one. This is a good supplement. Now, this is interesting. The best online group therapy tried and tested. So I'm just going to read this what it says. Sometimes when you're feeling down, anxious, or depressed, all you really want to do is talk to someone who understands what you're feeling. Right? That's what most of us come here for. Make But anxiety, depression, and other mental health conditions can make you feel isolated, like you're the only one in the world who feels that way that you do. And how many of us have felt like that before? Yeah, especially before this internet stuff. Me being involved in conspiracy theories and truthing theory um, under the Truthing Act. Yeah, wanting to talk to family members and friends about this interesting things I thought I was revealing about the world, how it's not really the way it is. It can be equals lonely. And it wasn't until I did found some groups um, that were under the same act, that had some like minds and theories, that I started to feel not alone. So, because it is something to be said about how you can be in such a big world or have a big family, yet you feel alone, right? You're so close, but so far. So it says that's why group therapy or support groups can make a big difference. They offer you the opportunity of talking about what you're going through with people who understand what you're dealing with because they are dealing with it too, or they experienced similar feelings in the past. So, yeah, so traditionally, group support took place in person at therapy practices, mental health clinics, community centers, or hospitals. Yeah, you literally had to find the date and the time it was going and see if that rocked with your schedule. You had to make sure you had the clean clothes to go, right? You had gas in your car, right? But increasingly, groups are moving online. There you go. Now, I'm not gonna say like there's nothing there's not great value in being with a licensed psychologist or psychiatrist in order to get your be the facilitator for your group therapy, for sure. It's like when you sit by a psychiatrist on an airplane, um, and talking about your life like a normally you would do on the plane. Is everything that psychiatrist says to you literally advice, psychiatric advice? Maybe, but probably not. It can be just, you know, what they call old man, old woman knowledge about life too. Right. And this is what we're doing here on online in these groups, I think. So don't now that's not like literally group therapy in the clinical sense, but I think I think there might be some parallels. Let me know. And I don't mean it in a bad way. At first I probably did. I was like, you fuckers you're using this StreamYard as a damn therapy session, man. But look at little that I know, I'm probably doing the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, group therapy is a great way to get docs and spied on for sure, but so is being in this chat, in a sense. I mean, if you don't put yourself out there, how the hell are you gonna come past some of these blockages? I get it. Like there's a lot of manipulation everywhere, for sure. But if we're constantly um on guard completely, there's never an opening to heal that trauma, right? Yeah. NPC the game. What's going on? Leopard Print, good to see you. NPC Leopard Print. Uncle Fatty, I turned my last drink into aesthetic lesbian. Wow. He never recovered. That sounds kinky, to say the least. Unorthodoxly kinky. What do they call it? Uranus and Scorpio. Unorthodox. Out the box Scorpio sexual. Depth psychology Scorpio. Going deep. Yeah. So yeah, this is group therapy. Tell me if you guys think that there's some similarities between group therapy and some of this panelverse chatting we do. You know, because people might not literally admit it and call each other friends and stuff. Because in the modern world we live in today, it might seem awkward to say that, especially online to someone, even though you probably spend more time talking to them about your personal hopes and dreams and failures and just normal life than you ever did in your 3D reality friends. Even with that said, like y'all never even call each other friends, right? And mean it, you know? But it seems like a lot of you guys are friends. So that's nothing to be ashamed of. If anything, it's something to be celebrated and championed. Dominic with a comment. Understanding our boundaries or looking at what we need to heal allows us the opportunity to look within and ask the question, what do I need right now that will support me? Very, very, very on point right there. Base. Know your boundaries. One way to know your boundaries is by interacting with people. And speaking up when those boundaries are crossed. And also being not so butthurt if you cross your friends' boundaries too, and they let you know. Yeah. Dominic with another comment. If you don't acknowledge our boundaries, resentment, lack of self-esteem, and disharmony can build up within ourselves. Yeah, and it can explode. And it can explode when you're in that space where you're super introspective in a very harsh way, not a gentle way of yourself. That definitely you can turn your sunshine into a black hole that sucks everything in. Be that person stuck on the couch they can't even get out because you have so much social anxiety, maybe. And I'll speak for myself because I don't want to like always just be putting out this idea of that I know all the answers, even though you guys know that because you're smart. But given the theories or platitudes of like this is what you should do, this is what, after a while it gets kind of like empty calories, mental calories, spiritual calories. Sometimes this anecdotal evidence experience speaks more volume or relating what we're talking about to your actual life than trying to say all the right things. I'm getting to a point where this is like the universe is sped up. God, we're on the quickening time right now, 2025. I don't got time to hear all that. Maybe, yeah, drop your little nugget for sure, but then relate it to what's really going on in your life because it makes for a much more interesting conversation too, and experience for growth. Lip and print Dominic always comes through with the insight. Absolutely, absolutely. Rolling 777 used to work for Hollywood has a comment. Online NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and hypnosis is real online too. Safe haven for it. Yeah, there's a lot of people taking advantage of those tools to lock in and imprint things on your mind that you probably don't want. So why better for you to do it than somebody else, you know? Sam with the comment. The problem with panels is while people get out their feelings, they don't really resolve anything. They need a facilitator to help. Very good point. Very good point. Yeah, that's a key linchpin, Sam. Yeah, because it's easy to get them out, and a lot of times people just want to get them out in diarrhea of the mouth, and they need it. They need to get it out. However, if you're not trained or schooled on how to either by life or literally by a clinical psychology program or work, you that's all going to be lost and just be a bunch of diarrhea that probably could have been used as fertilizer when you transmute it for the flowers of new awareness and paradigms that are sprouting in your consciousness. So a good skilled facilitator is needed, right? For sure. Pay me the money so I can go to school for it. Drop a dono in the buy me a coffee. Mods, pump my link for me. Uh, this that's it. Yeah, that's it. Don't forget that one. Appreciate it. Markilla, the comment. Friendships are often taken for yes, ma'am, they are. Absolutely. Friendships are taken for granted. So much so that when people see some people linking up, they think they're on some nefarious shit all the time. When in fact it's just friends grouping up. Like I was in the Black Student Union at my high school, which was like it's the second oldest school west of the Mississippi. It's a Jesuit school, and a lot of white people, a lot of money, and not too many melanated folks, black folks, quote unquote black folks at the school. But the ones we did have, we found solace and support and just camaraderie in the Black Student Union. You know, in fact, it's funny because there was like the president the first year I got there was a white dude of it. Yeah, and as the years went by, we got more and more members and whatnot, and that club started to grow. But in doing so, it's funny because even though we were like a tight knit group of friends, we still used to interact with everybody wherever we go. We could be part of their group too. It was cool. But we knew the boundaries and whatnot. We could see that shit. Uncle Fatty, communication and management of expectations, setting boundaries and defining consequences. The simplest coping mechanisms. All talk is talk therapy, allegedly. Yep. We're talking it out. You can walk it out, which is probably the best thing to do, exercise, but you can try to do both and be out of breath. Talk and walk, right? Real talk, man. Oh shit. Nigga, he's about to leave. Rolling 77. He said Uncle Fatty is a self-admitted racist. An informant. Take care. Oh man. Wish he didn't have to go. Oh man. I don't know, man. I remember he told me he was he used to be affiliated or, friends of like the white supremacists and whatnot in Idaho. That was a compelling story, interesting story. All I know, whether he's an informant or not, if he's one of the coolest informants I know. I mean, we got to keep our head on a swivel for sure because there's definitely manipulation that that's happening all over the place. But I'm happy to have Uncle Fatty on the panel and in the chat. He makes the broadcast better, just like El Perro does. What's up, Keith? Good to see you. Thanks for being patient yesterday. I seriously did not see you and Jack there the other day, down there. I was so engrossed in what we were doing. My apologies again. Yeah, so the whole thing about manipulation and whatnot, and like, since we're talking about informants or whatnot, I think what's his name, Andrew Tate. Jeremy sent me this. It's kind of cool. It's actually really cool. I mean, I had seen this a year before, but it's good, Rick. Reminding that put your hand out as a friend, but always keep your head on the swivel.
I allow manipulation to see where my enemy wants me to go. Then I use my mind to break the trap and punish all perpetrators. And I like that. So he'll watch the news. I used to see my dad watch the news, allow the manipulation, watch it all, turn it off and say, son, this is bullshit. And he'd sit there and dissect it all from head to toe. So he'd allow manipulation. He wouldn't deny it. He wouldn't say, no, don't come at me with bullshit. He'd say, oh, you have a bullshit story. Come tell me your bullshit story. Come tell me.
He would say, don't watch the news, it's all bullshit.
No, tell me.
Embrace it.
And then
watch
he'd use
it,
his
and
mind to break the trap and punish the perpetrator. So he was very understanding of this, and a lot of his tweets are good for these kind of things. He was saying, allow them to attempt to manipulate you. It's no problem. Turn it off and say, son, this is...
Okay.
So he'll watch the news. I used to see my dad watch the news.
And we'll use a metaphor. Yeah, Shadow Buddha and I will watch the panelverse.
Allow the manipulation. Watch it all.
We'll watch it all. Allow the manipulation.
Turn it off and say, son, this is bullshit.
It'll be like, nephew, and it'll be like, unc, it's all bullshit, huh? Yeah, it is bullshit. It is.
And he'd sit there and dissect it all from head to toe. So he'd allow...
And then we like break it down, right? And in the end, we found out actually everyone, for the most part, everyone's trying to, find happiness. And it's just that there's so much momentum going on in unhealthy ways and whatnot that it doesn't seem like it. Yeah.
Manipulation. He wouldn't deny it. He wouldn't say, no, don't come at me with bullshit. He'd say, oh, you have a bullshit story. Come tell me your bullshit story. Come tell me.
He would say, don't watch the news, it's all bullshit.
No, tell me.
Embrace it.
And then he'd use his
and
mind to break the trap and punish the perpetrator. So he was very understanding of this, and a lot of his tweets are good for these kind of things. He was saying, allow them to attempt to manipulate you. It's no problem. Another thing he says, one of the things I said earlier in this podcast was his. You must analyze every firmly held belief you have, realize where it came from, who gave it to you, and if they have your best interests at heart, resist the slave mind. He said all this stuff, so I'll tweet it out. So yeah, he's still alive to a degree, So whether he's watching or not,
Yeah, shout out to Andrew Tate's dad, who passed away. Rest in power, Mr. Tate. Here's the thing, too. It's we were told that this YouTube was just used for fun and games for a lot of us, and it is. We have fun, and we're also, even before that, we're told that you can't learn something and get some self-realization. It can't be fun, but yeah, you can do it. Maybe we can do it at the same time. As we help each other. It's kind of like we're in this matrix, this battlefield of this information war going on right now. Some people call it the apocalypse, the great awakening, the end times. And we're all here right now to witness it and be a part of it. So maybe sometimes when we actually have discussions with each other, we could be seen as like, we're really we mean well. And those of us who are doing good, a little bit more stable at the time than others in the group, we can almost be like a triage doctor or nurse. Triage, at the emergency room while you're on the battlefield of this silent war for your mind and your heart, good and evil. We can help each other in real time. This is why this concept of all panel our panel groups therapy sessions, right? Why you need therapy in order to heal. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Yeah. So yeah, back to this behavior. You can learn from your peers this behavior. Like there's a lot of different literally online facilitated group therapy websites that you can be a part of, and where like we said that you can connect, talk, listen from your peers who are going through similar life experiences. Yeah, so kind of like I see it as similar to what we're doing here, except maybe we don't have a trained facilitator, because sometimes there's not even a trained facilitator per se, or if there is, they kind of sit back while the group the group therapy group is led by members themselves. There's also that as well. Yeah. So yeah, there's even studies about how live streaming live streaming on Twitch and YouTube affects people, how they cope with things. Look at this. This is the National Library of Medicine. Live streaming on Twitch, also YouTube too, help viewers cope with difficult periods in their life. This is from a paper, a study. So the abstract goes as the following: live streaming platforms such as Twitch and YouTube that facilitate online communities have become an integral part of gaming culture. We'll just say culture in general. I don't see too many gaming streams in all of the above sector. So users of these platforms are predominantly I'm going to cater to what we're doing here. Young and middle-aged adults who increasingly spend time socializing online rather than offline. That's a fact. Yeah. Like most of us are getting our socialization online. Yeah. What's going on? Good to see you, brother. Good night. Over there on the other side of the pond. Powell. Good to see you, brother. Hey, just chilling, man. Going over these this resonance that I see of group therapy and all some of these panels that we go on YouTube, see if there's some similarity. There's a comment from Sam. NPC, I'm new to your channel, but it seems to me that you do a great job trying to maintain respect, and that's therapy too. I appreciate that, Sam. Yeah, definitely was more eyes on me lately. Yeah, I have to own that and live up to it and practice it. Have an integrity, right? You can talk all this. I can talk all this big game about this, therapy and how everything's a lesson. But if I'm farting around and kind of being wasteful of the luxury of this time I have to stream, it's kind of like a slap in the face, and I'll be a big hypocrite. So that's why I do think respect from myself has made it easier for me to request and want respect, to want other people that come on this panel to respect other people too. I'm sure I'm going to be challenged as this platform grows more and more. Yeah. Thanks for acknowledging that. What are you up to, Poel? Let me know what you're up to, bro. Shadow Buddha with the comment. Sam, yep, exactly. Holding others accountable for their actions and having integrity versus other channels who allow chaos and spurging just for a few dollars. Yeah, that is a different. This is definitely a different, nice, beautiful comment, Buddha. different avenue for those of you who would like some relief or some fresh air from some chaos, that type of chaos. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't trying. It's not a slight against those people who love chaos, but I respect the fact that that's their job and they're able to make money off it at least. I mean, if all these other people can do it, why can't they do it? You know, there's a choice. You don't have to listen to everything and whatnot. If anything, I'm also in awe of some of those people that make money off it, the chaos too, because yeah, they've had a lot of success, and to me, power and success are definitely are a metric I use for things that are valuable, right? So you just done the gym, huh? 1, 2, 3 a.m. over there on the other side of the palm. Birmingham, South Central. What's up? Big ups, man. Yeah, you got a mind, body, soul, right, sibling? Yeah. I used to have the one-on-one sessions with Poel, CFR, Culture Free Network, who's a great creator, prolific creator, out here on the YouTube and also on other various platforms, Apple Music, and CFR Culture Free Radio, right? Network. Yeah, we used to have one-on-one therapy sessions for sure. A lot of times he was a voice of reason. 72, yeah. What's that mean? That's a good number. Where's Patrick? Oh yeah, Patrick, yeah. Patrick, man. That's your number, 72. Rude cunt crab with the comment. The channels that allow the chaos prone individuals is what gives other channels repents from these people. Is that, would you say that's those different types of channels are symbiotic or parasitic or something new entirety? Yeah. Culture Freedom Radio Righteousness. Culture Freedom Righteousness. There you go. I'll let you tell it. Yeah. I'm down for that, bro. Struggling to find balance, right? And stoicism is big, right? The last couple of years, stoicism. Not too high, not too low. Look at Tim Duncan as a metric for that. But as someone who has a lot of the Scorpio, Aries energy, I like to be passionate about things. And when you're passionate, you have to be extreme. Or at least that's the way I see it for now. So there's a time and a place for it. So we're going to go the middle way and be stoic most of the time. But sometimes I want to, let my hair down and get hyphy with it. Get a little wild, get primal. Yeah. Crab, very true. So, yeah, back to the study right here. Really small. So the live streaming, right? We said about the most of us. This abstract paper was saying that most people that watch live streams, they get most of their socialization comes offline. It's from online rather than offline. This shift to online behavior can be a double-edged sword when coping. There you go, there's that word. Coping with difficult periods in life, such as relationship issues. How many people are in not the best relationship right now, or going through a divorce, or have done that? The death of a loved one, or job loss. Yeah, a lot of y'all don't have no job, right? Some of it is your fault. I guess some of it isn't. On the one hand, platforms such as Twitch and YouTube offer pleasure, distractions, and relatedness with others to help with coping. There's the word again. And the increased sense of autonomy and control could stimulate self-disclosure, right? Rude mud, speaking of rude mud crab, I like how he brought up the other day on the Flows panel how some of that strategy, or at least those videos where they promote, like, I would say, like Machiavellian type of relationship dynamic strategies. It's kind of like a cope in a sense that, like, people are like, it's okay for you to be an asshole to people, or it's my words, right? Like, woe is me to be so above everyone intellectually and spiritually. That's tomorrow, the spiritual elitism show broadcast, even physically, huh? They show you on camera, but it's so hard for me, you know. It's like the pretty girl. Wow, my life is so hard being beautiful, right? And I bet it is. There's more money, more problems for sure. So coping, use that as a cope. Using those as a cope. However, the prevalence of trolling and memes may also discourage people from opening up, and relationships that are built online, especially those with micro celebrity streamers. Yeah, this is like all the people with, you know, with a relatively good following, where they have like 100+ people, at least in our sector, all of the above sector in the chat. Those are micro celebrities for sure. This could be perceived as more meaningful than they actually are. Yeah, I mean, the trolling and the memeing of people in real time does squash those attempts for people being totally honest and opening up and whatnot. And I get it. Maybe people don't want to lay all their troubles and traumas on the table, but there's some good headways that get shit all over because someone wants to be funny, or they themselves are uncomfortable listening to the narrative because it's touching something in them that they're probably afraid to share because they're not as strong or courageous. To create a deeper understanding of YouTube as a new medium platform, enabled in live, paneling culture, and how users perceive it, potentially as a coping mechanism, we have conducted a first exploration by means of a survey. The questions focused on general YouTube behavior, the difficult period in life, the role of YouTube during this period. It was distributed online among people who considered themselves active YouTube panel users and who had gone through a difficult period. 84% participants completed the entire survey. The majority of participants indicated that Twitch or YouTube helped them cope, and that it became a larger part of their lives during the difficult period compared to regularly viewing. Reoccurring themes were the entertainment, distraction, and sense of community YouTube Live offers. Viewing behavior during difficult periods appears to remain largely the same in terms of the streamers that are watched. Although time spent viewing increases, and there is a change towards more time spent actively watching rather than having the stream on in the background. Yeah, meaning you don't want to miss any moment of it. With this work, we aim to create a deeper understanding of YouTube Live as a platform and its importance for panelers that are going through difficult periods in life. What do you think about that? What's going on, Bex? Been a minute. Are we not men? You're here for the free therapy. Oh man, I might have to give you on the natural, because you definitely are a panel versus all the above sector legend. Today is 28/8/22. 28 payday, huh? That's that money number. 22 master number. Are we not men? What's up, dude? Yeah. It's been a minute, huh? What do you say? It's the fucking internet. Bro, yeah, for sure. It is the internet. People choose what's valuable. However, don't understand what their true value is. Yeah, you have the power to find what's valuable, definitely. Just like you have the power to define who you are. But for example, look at the power of to define value. Look at how the most valuable resource in the world, in general, even though it's tap water and probably has chemicals in it if you live in America, it's free, right? The water's free. Yet something like a diamond is it's ridiculously expensive, right? How about that? The value of nothing, huh? Buddha with a comment, they lose sight of value from their addictions and irresponsible behavior. That can get in a way. When you're not on point, all the distractions can cause you to forget about what's valuable in your life. Look at that. Look at that. My wife right there, Miss NPC, and my son. Remember when we first got married, 2013, year of the snake. We had, she had to go away because we were living in East Oakland, 77th Avenue, deep East Oakland. And I had just moved there. I'm not from that area. I'm from the South Bay and Silicon Valley. And she had to go after a couple weeks after getting married on 12/12/12. We moved in on January 1st, 2013. She had to go to Taiwan because her older brother was getting married, right? Archangel Michael was getting married. And so she went over there for like a month and a half. And it was just me and Winston there. And I was fucking lonely. I just got married. My wife literally left to go see her mom and, her brother and stuff like that. And so it was me and Winston the dog. Yeah. Me and Winston. Here's Winston. Good old Winston. Rest in power. Winston the Formosan. There he is, the white one right there. Shout out to Fin. Rest in power. His sister. So it was me and Winston, right? And I was kind of, I was keeping busy. I was going to work. I was hitting Bikram yoga hard. I would go at least once or twice a day. Sometimes I would always go 5:30 in the morning class, then go to work, walk Winston, and go to work. And then when I got back home, sometimes I would go to the night class after I walk Winston. And then in between that time, I would go on Talk Shoe Radio or Blog Talk Radio. This is before YouTube Live, and go on the panel. And I used to go on Brother Ali's and Supreme Being's panel a lot when my wife was gone. Because I didn't have to she wasn't there. It was just me and the dog. Not that Winston was in great company, but we were. I needed to be stimulated in my mind, and that's where I met CFR Network, in that community, So I would go on there almost every night, and we talk about making the world a better place through making ourselves even better, self-realization, and then did that and became a pivotal member in that community, and then that sector. Then when my wife finally got home, I was still on that radio. And a lot of times I would act like I was still living that bachelor life when she wasn't there. It's like I would be on those calls for an hour. And when she make me food and I'd be like, make her wait because I was on this call on the live stream. You know, I was distracted from what was really important in front of me because I put value on that panel. You know, that was my bad. That was my bad. And she's not the one. She's not the one I want to really. At least back then, we been married like almost 12 years now. Especially back then, she wasn't the one to really be pushy or anything, even though she was angry. Might have been angry or annoyed. She let me know suddenly, but I wasn't picking up the hints because I was distracted with weed. I was distracted with these calls. I was distracted with ideas of being the one, you know. Yeah, and it put me in a bad place that it took me a minute to get myself together. But when I did, I was able to look outside myself and be like, holy shit, especially when I first stopped going on those panels like I did. I'm like, was I really like that? Did I really fuck up that much, you know? And that's why I can see it in other people. I get it. I'm doing a broadcast right now. It's an hour long right now. And I feel like I'm always already going over too much because there's so much stuff I got to do. You know, I want to walk the dogs. I want to build with my wife and my son. It's Saturday morning right now. I got 2 classes to teach on creative and essay writing and literature. So in current events. So some high schoolers that are depending on me. I gotta go to the gym. So it's like a lot of things to do, but I love those things too. But I love streaming to y'all guys and giving this record for Benjamin. You know, only to make him stronger. So you got to pick out what's valuable in your life, right? And then really be honest with yourself. Now I'm doing my Platitudes to you, but I'm only doing it because I recognize when I see someone streaming for 11 hours, and some people are making money off it, which is cool. Some people are not. I think if I were to stream 11 hours, I would have to be making a shitload of money, at least like 3 times what I'm making right now. Be okay with it. But to each his own. What about the people that are just listening to it, right? That's why I really see this as therapy for people. Because why else would you be on these calls for so long sometimes? You know, let's keep it 100. Yeah. Comment from Powell: 3+ hours talk. BTR Block Talk Radio on Talk Shoes days. The real training ground. Yeah, that was a training day, man. That's where we came up, man. This is where Test Stream started. My video editing style came from taking Powell's, or respectively using Powell's audio from those shows and making my own take on it with images and whatnot. You know? Yeah, man. Party people, what's going on, crazy mama? We got that music today. We got Linda Ronstadt in honor of my mama, Anita, that Blue Bayou, you know. We'll have some more than Linda Ronstadt next week. We're going to play some mariachi music. My grandpa used to bump that shit all the time. Her mariachi album, even though he wasn't even Mexican, that was on my grandma's side, his wife's side. He was a Scotch-Irish Spaniard, whose name was Adolf, of all things. My grandpa Adolf, huh? You wish you had some of y'all wish you had that name, huh? On the front. What's going on, panelists? Careful, are we not men as one dude who abuses? Oh, come on, we gotta say that shit. Oh, thanks for the heads up, okay? I'll just say that. Maybe you can DM me next time. We're not trying to, like, that type of those type of things, those accusations. I know I don't co-sign on that type of shit, but come on, man. I ain't trying to slander people. All right. but I appreciate the thought in terms of trying to warn people and whatnot. Okay. See, that's what I mean, man. Read the room. That's probably why you got. I think you got timed out before or banned or something. And I really I fuck with you, Paddleverse. You are the Paddleverse, man. You were giving me props for me doing the interview and stuff like that, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. What is this? Miss Alexander, poor guy in the generation with the name. Yeah. So what are we doing right now? We dropped the link. What we got? Oh, 9:43. Yeah, I want to at least go 20, 15 minutes. Like that 20, 15 minutes. That's a new one. Hit that up. Look, Patrick, if you're there. Hit the panel if you want to talk. But let me know what you think about this take on the Panelverse being resonating with group therapy. You know? Yeah. That's what the whole thing. I want to know your takes on stuff, guys. You are part of the narrative, the meta narrative. Chaos beings, Patrick. Yeah, so that was interesting. Live streams on YouTube help viewers cope with difficult periods in life. Interesting case study. Yeah. That's from a couple years ago. Probably go over the results next time. Talk shit. I mean, you can talk shit. It's a lot. Actually, I'm trying to learn from Chaotic Truth. I'm not trying to swear so much. Literally, if we're talking about literally talking shit, I don't even want to say the word shit that much. But when you say talk shit, I mean, what do you mean? Just keep it real? Well, let's see. You're more than willing to do that. Yeah. I didn't think you even go on panels. Are we not men? I heard you were just a chatter. Maybe I was mistaken. If I was, excuse me. Yeah, but pop up. Poop is fine. Poop is fine. Yeah. Yeah, because I was on KT's channel the other day, and I was like, I did drop my F-bombs. He's like, I'm trying to monetize or keep it monetized or something like that. And I'm like, my bad. And I said, like, shit. Like, I did it again. I can't stop. And in his chat, he has a lot of people that are all amped up on this, racial shit. So they're like, look at this black dude. I forgot what they said. Like, they always got to be cussing and shit. Like, look at me. Yo, what's going on, gentlemen? How's it going? What's going on, brother? Patrick, Brother Powell, the supreme god of the UK. How's it going, brother?
Good night, sibling. What's happening?
Oh man, just doing this build for Benjamin, the little G, the little god. This channel's for him. Our record for him. Yeah.
An audio legacy.
Exactly, audio legacy, man. Now visual too. That's the evolution of this Powell. When we started, it was basically just the audio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, OTW? How's it going?
Oh, doing good.
Very good. Good. Yeah, this is my good friend,
What up, OTW?
Brother Powell.
What up,
Powell. These are the two Patricks. Look within and OTW.
Oh, well.
The two P's.
Yeah. Two P's. Yeah.
2 peas in a pot.
Yeah.
Now OTW, you might have some uncommon commonality with Brother Powell because he's like yourself. He's a prolific live streamer.
Cool.
Yeah. So Paul, what do you have got going recently? Some of your broadcasts, or you have coming up?
Well, every Saturday we do the Patreon live, which is it's not 10 hours from now, AM for us, 10:30 AM UK time. And we normally do that for 3 hours. It's kind of similar to the old old blog talk days, but we try and have at least a couple of topics, and we'll do some reactions and stuff like that.
Cool.
And then obviously
Yeah.
the interviews on the CFR. So yeah, man. And then the CFR sports, obviously sports related and stuff. So we try and keep it as varied as possible.
Yeah.
You know, do it.
Yeah, I saw a synchronicity of you last weekend. Kanye dropped the Big Bully album on Twitter, and it was like one continuous shot of his son wrestling. And I don't know if did you peep the jersey he was wearing? I thought of you.
No, I haven't even pieced it.
His son's wearing the Birmingham jersey, soccer uni. Yeah, it's in slow motion, all in her face. I'm like, oh, brother Poyle speaking to us.
Yeah, signs and symbols.
Yeah. So what do you guys have any thoughts about this as panelverse or aka panels in general on live streams as therapy?
Yeah, because the majority of people, pardon self, I'll be very quick.
Take your time.
Oh no. Well, but due to the time, I'm gonna say my piece, and I'll let you all build, because I'm gonna try and get some 40 winks, quote unquote.
Yeah, it is late. Yeah.
Due to obviously, we went through something called the zombie apocalypse. People have to work from home and stuff. Remote living and remote working, digital nomads, etc., etc. So, and with the rise of technology, the rise of AI. The dependency on technology, people are more and more accustomed and have been conditioned to interface with technology versus interfacing with human beings. So it's 100% therapy, sibling. This is the new age. This is the new world. This is the new norm, as they were promoting and highlighting across this plane of existence. So yeah, man, it's therapy, 1000%.
Wow, well said, man. Yeah. ALTW?
What was the question again?
Is this panelverse as therapy? Do you see it as it could be seen as some therapies at times?
Actually, I could say it has been for me. Yeah, I've worked a lot on myself and my triggers and a lot of stuff in the past 3 years. So I could say it has been some form of therapy for myself. I don't know for others, but yeah, I guess I've grown throughout all of this. Taught me how to become a little bit more stoic.
Meaning you don't let things affect you as much because you've been bombarded at times?
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of stuff, actually. Pretty much anything that could have ever triggered me in my life, I've been through it on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, like before I actually started building it with you and met you, you did have this aura of not so much I'll say infamous. You had an infamous ring around your being to me from what I heard stories, but in actuality, it's like I meant to say this yesterday. You're one of the key people that, and the other Patrick too, but your whole thing about motivation after you got the award, about positivity, I've seen it, bro, and I've been latching onto that, man.
Yeah, and I haven't let go of it yet, And although there is some negativity on my channel, when it happens, I tend to tune out, so I don't actually participate. I just let it happen, and I don't say anything. I just, I don't want to let myself get dragged back down to that particular frequency. I want to stay where I'm at. I'm actually happy right there, where in this particular mind state or mind frame or wherever, this position that I'm holding is good, and I want to maintain that, right?
Right. Do you think there's a time though when we need to step in though, as facilitator, hosts? I mean, even though we want to keep it clean for our own, but we do represent the community when we're online per se.
I guess I do have a certain level of tolerance. There are some things that I won't tolerate anymore, like particular loops, like coming from, like, let's say Snafu Snaps, which I haven't had on my broadcast, I think, in 2025. So, and it's been going great. Yeah.
Wow, he's been on mine.
Yeah, well, he tries to get on where he can. Right? He's pretty much been banned everywhere he's been.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. He was. I'll say he was bad here. Notice I say was. He can pick up on that now. Was. Yeah. So obviously he was on the other day. But yeah. Oh, Patrick, how about you? You as a creator, but also as a big influencer on the panels and the chats. What about you? You see as therapy as time at times?
Am I? Am I? Can you
Just
hear me?
said. I wouldn't have said it. Obviously, an influencer.
Sometimes
You
we're
can carry
things out
weight.
here yeah, sometimes we're things out here that we're not even aware of. Like people perceive us in certain ways,
Yeah.
and we don't even know.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, it looked definitely carries weight if people have the right eyes. Look it.
It definitely showed me how to not act, or just like Big Patrick said. But
Uh-huh.
that's what I've noticed the most out of it. It really depends where you go. There are channels that are just focused around drama, and that sells, but you're gonna get a very inorganic, inauthentic group of
Yeah.
people that are gonna turn on you on a dime if you're not displeasing the audience. And that's
Yeah,
how
they'll turn on you in a minute.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I've seen that even in the chat. As soon
So have
as you have a conflicting view with the host, they jump on you like a bunch of wild wolves.
Or
and
vice
like, oh,
versa. A conflicting view, like let's say you have a conflicting view with somebody in chat and they're not happy because you're not doing what they're expecting you to do.
right.
Yeah.
And even in that way, like I said, it just shows you how not to be. But that shows you the group mindset that they have. And I thought that a lot of these people claim to be free thinkers, and that they claim to be, the black sheep. But when they group up together, they sure act
It's
very
different. Yeah,
socialist,
you're
very
right.
communist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the individual is really smart, very very intellectual and very smart. It's the people, the masses. It's when we group together for some reason, the IQ level just drops. Like I don't know how many points, but it just does. We all become
It's a
like
social
Neanderthals.
conformity tactic. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that why,
they gotta-
Boyle, you stay by yourself?
Well, pretty much, yeah.
Sorry
'cause
about
I
that.
don't want to be influenced, with exterior. Yeah, especially I live out in the country and I moved out here on purpose because in the city, you always got somebody somewhere, a neighbor or somebody, the next door neighbor, the neighbor in front, or something's happening. There's always cops somewhere. There's always, somebody's playing the music too loud, or there's, I need peace and quiet, man. I have to be out in the country, and
Yeah.
I can't have people coming knocking on my door, and it's just I had enough. So I'm far away enough from the city. No one's coming and knocking at my door.
Yeah. Yeah. Poel, because you did a lot. You've done big collaborations with some pretty big channels like going with your homies over there. Like, do you find that how do you keep the separation of not getting into other people's beef, or have you had issues before, shit like that happening, or you stay autonomous?
It tends to happen when the siblings from the wilderness of North America are involved. Generally,
Americans, huh? And Canadians, technically, OTW.
I haven't actually had anything mad happen with any Canadians. To be fair, they're
Okay.
obviously sort of English Britain's second cousin, quote unquote, along with Australia. So no, I think the mindset is still quite different of sorts. But generally, no. As you know, I can compartmentalize situations and stuff. So that is that. This is this. So as you know, I try my best to keep it because ultimately it's edutainment. It's always edutainment. Occasionally it can be only entertainment, and occasionally it can only be education. But I try and blend the two, so it's not just hee ha ha. It's I never thought about that. Oh, here's another option. Here's another way. Here's another chain of thought or something. So it's always about giving, being as selfless as possible, but having the balance to be selfish. and as I say, to have that point of entertainment into it as well.
Right. It seems like this sector right here, we call it the panelverse, but I've been calling it the all of the above sector. It seems like, for example, like if we were right now talking trash about another creator or someone on a chatter, like it never fails, bro. You'll get like 20 people come into your live stream. I don't know how the word gets out or what, but it's wild how it works.
Yeah, word gets around really fast. People communicate in Discord and stuff like that behind the scenes. You don't know, man. It's wild.
Yeah, and then mostly Americans. I have to admit, probably you're right.
Oh yeah, I have like I think
mostly Americans.
79% of my audience is United States.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like a foundation. What'd you say?
Drama sells, controversy sells. It's unfortunately, we've been we've been rapidly conditioned further into wanting more controversy, wanting more fights, wanting more of the guttural stuff that, you know, resonates with the lower chakra versus it's a new day. We've got this demon technology in AI, and we've got all of this technology. We should be living our best lives. We should be trying to float, not walk anymore, right?
Yeah, you're
absolutely.
Right. Yeah, and you think about it, you know, the oh man, I lost my train of thought.
Like we should be doing better. You know, we have, you know, is it because we're being distracted? Yeah, distracted, right? On the lower level things, you're saying. And then,
well, thinking about like the fact that the direction that it's going, it's also creating like more and more lazy people as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like lazy thinking people. Like even like today I was out at work and I use like one of these debit machines, and people like sometimes like the pay pass doesn't work, so you gotta like put the card in, right? People forget their numbers and their nips. Like, hold on, I gotta go get my notepad. I forgot my nip.
Wow.
So right there, it's a good example to show you like people like they become lazy mentally as well.
Yes.
And I think also like let's say Google Maps or any kind of GPS thing also makes your mind lazy. Because then you don't think and remember the routes that you take when you go to places, and you just depend on the thing telling you where to go and where to turn.
You're right, but it also depends on the mind. It depends on the mind. If I've traveled one place once, regardless if it's satellite navigation or not, I will always find places of interest that I'll find and think, oh, okay, and I remember driving past this place 2 years ago or whatever it was, and I remember certain roads and routes and stuff. So it depends on the mind, I would say.
You make mental markers. Yeah.
Yes.
I do that too.
Well, under your zodiac chamber, pull out the Gemini chamber, bro. I can see that happening because you guys are very cerebral, mental, and can pick out things and make quick connections. So
yes,
if I can see that's easy for you. Yeah. So people being lazy though, how's that? Do y'all see that in terms of on panels sometimes? How maybe we can get distracted and get lazy, and not even though we want to have fun, you know, we're not getting as much as we could out of it because when we go up here, sometimes we want to shut off our brain.
Yeah,
it depends what the agenda is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like what were you there for that day? It's like my best conversations, the ones that I enjoy the most, are the ones that when we break down, when we talk about or debate religion, and or the different denominations of Christianity and all of other forms of religion based on scriptures and shit like that. So it's like those are one of the realms I enjoy. I also enjoy having conversations about like things that are out of this world, more occult knowledge, things that people aren't like everyday common guy doesn't really know any of this shit, you know. That's the kind of stuff that really stimulates me.
Hidden history, etc.
And you'll notice, like when I have the panels, when the conversation doesn't really relate to anything I am interested in, I just don't say anything. I won't speak. Just let the conversation ride with whoever's interested in the topic at the moment.
Yeah.
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 That reminds me of the whole thing. If you're going to relate it to behavioral therapy, like I read earlier, that'd be like more of a group led group led group. In terms of whereas when you're staying on topic as the host, aka the facilitator, you're making sure we stay on what you want to cover. So
Yeah. And for long enough, I think I let kind of like the audience and panelists kind of run the show for a while. And
yeah,
now I'm starting to fine tune it where, okay, no, this isn't going to happen. No, I like more and more being comfortable taking control of every single part of what's going on in the broadcast, like not really letting anybody else take control or necessarily tell me what to do while I'm conducting the broadcast.
right. I think Bex was
Fun
saying
stuff.
OTW, your mic is low a little bit.
I was just going to
Hello?
comment. Gentlemen, it was wonderful chopping it up, building. It is 4 minutes past 2.
Okay.
Mic check.
Yeah, so it's pretty late. I'm going to call it a night. I will most
You
definitely
sound
catch
good,
the
LT.
replay.
All right, man. As you say, teach 1, reach 13 or 12.
Each one teach 12.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate
I
you
like the
coming up.
remix.
Legendary, man. That was a first. You came up on this new form for me, and at least in our interactions, huh? Our collabs.
Definitely.
Appreciate you, Poel.
It was an honor, man. It was an honor, gentlemen.
Much love to your lovely wife and your mom and your mom. Okay.
Definitely, man. Likewise.
Okay.
Right back at the sibling.
All right. Peace, brother.
Adios. Peace. Shalom.
Shalom. Yeah, you see, like when I was giving that story about, like, when my wife went away to Taiwan to the wedding, and that's when I first started paddling, right? That's how long I've known Poel. I met him at the exact same time. So we've been friends for 13 years now. No, 10, 12 years. Shit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's when people say, like, oh, it's just YouTube. You can't make friends. Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. If you have the right focus, if that's what you want, like you said earlier. Is that what you value? You could do it. Obviously the 2 Patricks are killing it. I want to get involved now too.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's actually one of the first times that I actually, get involved with another panelist or somebody out here. Is pretty much Patrick. I've worked with Paul, but it was like more or less broadcasting things. It wasn't behind the scenes, or I have had how can I say this? I haven't had any behind the scenes kind of like relationships or interactions with any of the broadcasters or YouTubers. Like I have given out my messenger to a few people, and it's like a text here and there, but it's not like as if we're talking and telling each other stories. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I need to call. I need to be having to call Patrick more. We had a little dialogue yesterday over the voice recording. That was cool. But yeah, it's great having like just from a life hack, while having like a friend like Patrick to talk to offline, because it's like life hacks, bro. He's like a guru.
Yeah,
you can talk to.
And it's funny that
same thing as Shadow Buddha too.
It's funny that how life works, right? My interaction now with Patrick opened doors with other people in my life.
Wow, even better. Powerful.
Dude, it's wild, because now my conversation has changed, because I'm also now talking about the stock market, right? So all of a sudden, then you got people who are in the stock market turning their heads and going, "Oh yeah," and okay, and then they start attacking you. Like the conversation pops up, and then you're like, it goes wild. Like I had that particular conversation this evening at work. And so the guy says, "Oh wait, I got some good tips for you, man." And so he screenshots some stuff on his phone and he sends it to me, right? So now I got like connections, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
And this guy showed me his rap sheet from on the stock market. It's like like when you're looking at it goes down, it's like whatever's in red is when he lost, and whatever is in green is what all his winnings. It's like 10 winnings, 1 loss. 10 winnings, 1 loss. 15
Wow.
winnings, 1 loss. I'm like, wow, dude, that's fucking
It's a
impressive.
consistent
Man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This guy knows what he's going.
That's impressive, man.
He's been doing
Yeah.
it for a while. Listen to that guy.
Yeah.
He'll definitely he'll open your eyes to all new things. That's what I've been doing myself with a completely different group of anybody. They don't even know what this is, the panelverse thing, but they're all business owners and futures traders.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
they've
a
helped me a
higher.
lot,
It's
man.
a completely a higher level of societal personalities. It's
Yeah.
dude. I told look within the other day that I felt myself raising in frequency, but I also believe that that'll also attract a different level of people or a different frequency of
Yeah,
people.
most definitely.
Yeah. It does. It does. It just makes it like people say like I've heard this on the panelverse lately, like it's getting real life. The person's getting real life, but they say it in a negative way situation. But for y'all, it's getting real life in it. For us, getting good real life for a real life in a good way. You know, we're opening it up to people that we trust. That we're like, okay, we're gonna build offline, and maybe they'll find out, not just our personas online, but like, we can help each other, and yeah, that's a great thing. And Patrick's forecasting and whatnot, it lines up because, like I told you, like I always talk about my best friend Brian the Leo. He had talked to me about that. I think something that was similar to what Patrick's doing in the fall of last year, and I was all excited, and I started to look into it and stuff, but I just didn't really, life happens for me, right? I guess I wasn't ready, but now this is. I think I'm ready now, man.
I think that's it. Things come to you when you're ready. It's not if you go chasing after them. It's like it's just kind of a law, the law of nature. When you chase something, it runs away.
Right.
Exactly.
Nature, huh?
Yeah. That's how it functions in nature. So why would
even my Shiba does that, Junior, and he's not even a wild animal. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. You chase it.
So if you chase anything in life, I think it has that particular same dynamic to it that it'll run away. Whether it be a woman, whether it be money, whether it be a job, or I think you just gotta let things happen. Keep the faith and just work towards adding on to that thing happening, right?
Yeah.
Like you're encouraging it. You're doing things to facilitate that particular manifestation to present itself in your life at that moment when you really need it.
Yeah, that's a positive way to do it. That's like how I met my wife. I stopped being a coos hound for once. At least for a little bit, and then I started to work on myself, physically and spiritually, with the yoga and other things. And I literally found her at the yoga studio when I was just trying to get like locked in. We found each other.
And guess what? I shaved my face like your avatar.
You did? You got the Fu Manchu?
I thought it was. I said, that looks like a pretty cool way to shave your beard. I said, why not I try it? I have enough beard to do it. So yeah, I got
gangster that. OTW.
Yeah. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna show you. Hold on a sec.
You guys should check out this guy. His name's Myron Golden.
Okay.
He's got a channel. He's a multi-millionaire. I think he's either a multi-millionaire or a billionaire, but he came from nothing, and he said exactly that was he teaches in that way that he made himself more interesting. So legit.
That's Myron Golden. That's right there. Power stash. Myron Golden. Power stash right there.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
The hair pulled back too. It gives it
a
different look to you for sure.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit
it's
more
very
class. Starting to look
Gordon Gecko.
I'm starting to look like I actually have money.
Hey, like you said, you attract those type of people with your
Yeah.
appearance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the things you speak about, but that's exactly what he talks about is the that's how he made himself rich. It wasn't in the stock market, it wasn't anything like that. It was through finding more successful people around him and then making
Yeah.
himself interesting enough to where they were interested in him. So
Right.
then
Right.
they brought him into their circles, and he gained
That's
so much
stash.
more opportunity through that because they saw something in him, and then
Hmm.
he cultivated it and worked on it, and
It's
then
a
all of
little
a
too
sudden
wide though. El
they go,
Perro.
hey, I got this project I want you to work on for me, and they believed in him. And I mean, once you have the resources to do these things, a lot more is possible. These people will give you the resources. It's kind of how it works. Myron Gold.
Myron Goldman, I'm putting
Something
this.
like
I gotta put his channel in the chat. I seen him before. Yeah, that's him. Okay.
yeah.
Shout out to Keith Little.
Yeah.
How's it going, bro?
Good, good. Yeah, it does seem a little wide, but that's because my nose is wide. See, that's what a toothbrush mustache is. No matter who you are, it's supposed to generally be about the width of your nose.
Oh.
Okay.
I get it.
Well noted. Yeah.
So how's
So I
my
got the
audio?
Myron Goldman in there.
Yeah, you're
still
kind of
low?
low, OTW.
Man, I don't understand why it does that. Hold on a sec. Let me figure that out.
You're boosted all the way up. Let me make sure. I think I put look in too low yesterday. My bad. Yesterday.
It's all good.
Let me
Always
make
got
sure.
low.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put it up right now. Okay. There you go.
Okay, how about now?
Okay.
Wow.
Now it's really up.
There you go.
Now you got feedback. A
Yeah,
little bit less.
now you got static background.
Or is that?
Hold on,
that's
I'll fix it, hold on.
Maybe looks.
Yeah, half that loud.
Look, unmute yourself for a second, please.
Yo.
Okay, let me see.
Test 1 2.
How about
Better.
now?
Better.
Good,
Now it's good.
All right.
good.
Perfect.
Hey, Keith, what's your thoughts about Panelverse? Because you're a Panelverse legend, absolutely. What do you think about Panelverse as people or as therapy, group therapy?
Well, I
Some
don't
of these
know.
panels.
I don't know if you would call it so much group therapy because that would take on a kind of intent. But I think by natural instances, some of us can use it as therapy. In other words, we go back and we can look upon our bad instances, our good instances, and we can use that as a motivator to learn from those instances to make sure that we incorporate certain objectives into our future get-togethers, you know. But essentially, the therapy part would have to come with intent. But if you come with the intent and knowing and learning from this stuff, you can use these platforms for your own therapy. And what I'm saying here is when I first got on these panelers, I didn't know the first thing about them. And
Yeah.
in certain instances, I got myself in trouble. I put out a bad shadow and you know, I still got to live with that. And in the meantime, that's what I'm using to try to make sure those kind of events don't happen again.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Wizard, because you know when I came into this venue, I lost a friend in real life because of the venue itself. You know, I you know, Zetetic Warrior and all that debacle. Like, you know, this is an old lore. This is like in the first year. But yeah, I had a friend that was you know, starting out as a pretty much a Christian YouTuber. And obviously, we didn't have the same views on religion, but we were still friends. Like, we didn't really let that get between us. But then I did a broadcast, and I started, like, you know, hanging out with Zetetic Warrior, and Zetetic Warrior ripped into the guy like it was going out of style.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Calling his wife a whore and shit like that. And so the guy says, man, I can't believe you let a guy like that talk to me on the thing. And then my wife is like totally freaking out. And so, you know, like the wife doesn't like me anymore. We don't talk much. Anyway, like I said, it's like we still talk. It's like sometimes we text each other, but it's not like before, you know?
Yeah. I've had that happen, bro, on Facebook and also the panels too, where an outside friend just happens to come on, and and then somebody that you're aligned with will just rip into them. It's like, oh fuck, man, that's bad.
You know, I find the obverse is kind of true as well. You know, you would think with as many people that you meet on this panelverse, and finding out who is local to each other, you would have more meetups, and I don't see that happening. You know, I don't see a lot of people that I don't see a lot of people that become acquaintances on here actually become friends in real life. So the obverse is, you know, kind of a limitation that I put on this stuff myself.
Yeah.
You know? Greetings, Bex.
How's it
Hello,
going, Bex? Good to
gentlemen.
see you.
And chat.
In a minute.
Nice to see everyone.
I bet
Yeah, I
you.
think it's important to distinguish between what one finds therapeutic and what one uses to justify their immoderate behavior, perhaps, if I'm using immoderate correctly. You know, like I know speaking from my own personal experience, like I had a phone addiction sort of long before I became, you know, found live streaming and really had the bug bad. So I've talked quite openly about this. And then not even to get into the therapeutic part of it, you know, I've definitely matured a lot because of what I've chosen to engage with online. And I'm grateful for that. But, you know, if someone said at the beginning, this is what you're going to go through to get to where you are now, you know, like, I don't know that I would have made the same choices, right? So that's just me personally in my own, you know, I'm capable of learning in almost any situation, you know, but I think some people could be justifying, you know, something that's not necessarily benefiting them to the extent they think it is by calling it therapeutic, even if there's growth and therapy in it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
But you know, it's funny that you say that, Bex, because remember one of our first interactions, I actually, you know, I was already here for a while, and I had actually warned you and told you, you know, like, you better watch out for yourself. It's a jungle out here. And you were saying, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, you'll figure it out for yourself. And you actually did figuring it out for yourself. So,
well, I did, you know, and it's been interesting in the growth curves. I can remember coming up to your channel one day and exploiting my own emotions. Multiple times I would do it, you know, like, you know, people think I'm a reactive person all the time. But as I grew to, you know, learn to choose to react or not react, sometimes I would just, you know, perform or exploit it all for entertainment gain and to learn, right? Because I can remember coming to you, you know, maybe even a few months later and, you know, having complaints about like continued experiences I was having. And you were like, sort of like, let it roll, you know, like, and I was like, don't minimize it, you know, but really at this stage, it really, you know, Wiz put it quite well for me in chat one day, you know, like a lot of what happens and people perceive to happen to be online, you know, is of no consequence to me. And that's growth. You know, I'm not saying what I do. I'm saying what other people do, you know?
Well, think about this. And this is the way I've explained it many times. When we look at this metaverse, what we're getting is the tip of the iceberg, which is only 10% of the whole thing. It's the upper surface. Of what we see, we're only seeing one surface. There's still the top, the bottom, the side, the back, the other side. So there's another 10% we lose. So, or another 10%. And then out of that, we only comprehend 10% of that. The reality that's brought by this metaverse is essentially 0.1%. And if you're going to sit there and try to make a reality out of this 0.1%, you're either goddamn fucking good or goddamn fucking lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I would say has been the biggest lesson for me, because I want to be here, right? I do like what I get from YouTube. I like engaging with people. I like the relationships I've had for years, you know, but there was something lacking in my real life that I had to go out in the last year and seek, because there was obviously some void that needed to be filled by, or many voids for perhaps, you know, like the need to be heard or whatever, social voids that needed to be filled by the amount of engagement I was choosing to do on YouTube, you know?
Right. This is why I bring up this definition, the Webster or whatever, for therapy. It says intended to relieve or heal a disorder. So maybe some of us, for example, we do need to get off sometime because we have some type of disorder. Now, what that is, it's up to you to figure out. But will we do leave this area or come on here to relieve a disorder somewhere else? I mean, therapy, bro. It's like if you take it for that definition, I mean, there's a lot of therapy out there that we're engaging in.
Well, and think about it. If we're up here playing characters on this metaverse, those are different personalities. And when we're up here playing those personalities and they're not in order, in other words, we're trying to be masculine when actually we're beta, feminine, things like this. And people can see that. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I was going to come up as some character. I hadn't made up the name yet because I knew I had more to add, but I wanted to come up as a character being like, therapy, who needs that when you're fucking perfect? And just go on and on. Like,
I'd be like,
I didn't need to change a thing. Oh my God.
Why do you think I have 30? Why do you think I have 30 channels? They're all different personalities, but I'm the one that keeps them in order.
Yeah. Yeah, that who is that? What is that one awareness? That's what we're trying to get out. Yeah. That's the theme of like what I talk about a lot here is the fact that like under the non-duality chamber, that like what is this awareness that we're, that we say it's the I and all that, but what is it really? So even with that, we don't, at the core of us, some of us don't even know what we are, let alone when we go on the panels. So
well, it reminds me of that movie Split, where the dude has like multiple personalities.
Oh, duplicity.
Is it
multiplicity with what's his name? And he cloned himself several times, and it just
no.
Well,
that's
I'm
one.
talking about
what he's talking about, Split.
Split.
M. Night Shyamalan movie. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's
similar themes, Wizard though. Similar themes.
Yeah, but it's like they're clones of himself. It's not the same. He has actually he has multiple personality disorders. So he kind of like he acts like
the sequel. Yeah.
Well, isn't that like?
It is Glass. The sequel. It's the sequel
Glass.
To it's Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Glass is the
same
third
universe, though, huh? Same universe.
Glass is the third movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you get all of the three actors together in the same movie: Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and the other guy.
Yeah. But you like.
But anyways, I interrupted you. My bad.
Yeah, it says it's part of a trilogy. Cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, and what I wanted to the point I wanted to make is like which one of those personalities that you have is actually running the show? Because in Split, it's the demon that's running the show. Right? He's telling all of the other personalities what to do.
Right, and that's the thing about wearing a different hat, those different personalities. When you're running your own sales and marketing office and you're the boss, you've got to be the boss. But when you take that hat off, walk out that door and head home, now you got to put on the hat of husband and father and things like that. But you still got to use the same character traits of controlling your emotions and behaving appropriately. They're grace in the garden, and we're expelled from the garden to then tender his Mother Earth.
No. Yeah. This is where, I mean, true enough. Since we're all in the whatchamacallit, we're all creators here, more or less, right, on YouTube. Let me read this before we close up on this article I found about mental health and streaming, actually, the impact. Let's get your guys' thoughts on it. So it says we need to talk more about the mental health impact of live streaming. Throughout the pandemic, streamers have helped millions of people cope with the challenges of social distancing. This is from 2023. They provided much needed comfort and distraction, and some of us even found supportive communities on platforms like YouTube. For streamers, however, it's not always that easy. Although they seem funny, happy people who are living their best lives, getting paid to play games and, we'll say, panel, silently, some of them may struggle with their own mental health problems that don't show up on screen. Streaming is a multi-billion. Okay, yeah. To a certain extent, streaming might seem like the least field to investigate because it looks like the perfect job, even or a perfect hobby, even for a lot of us. Sitting in your room talking about what you want. When the news dropped in 2020 that popular Twitch streamer Byron Daniel Bernstein, better known as Ruckful, had committed suicide, everyone was shocked. In the past, Ruckful had brought up mental health and his struggles with anxiety and depression, but his fans were nevertheless taken back by his sudden passing, especially considering that the streamer talked about developing a new game that gave him a sense of purpose. Ever since, streamers like David Nash, Pokemon, and Ashman Gold open up about their own struggles with mental health and how the industry affects their well-being, revealing that the on-screen persona isn't always representative of their true feelings. Well, I'll ask you guys this. Why can streaming take a heavy toll on mental health? Panel.
Well, of course.
Boy.
It's wild, huh?
Well, the same way you saw me when I started out, guys. It can take, and understand, I was sitting there on a couch for 9 months, could hardly move with lung cancer. So there was a large part of there. Just the physical aspect of having an illness had a mental effect, had a psychological effect. And then when you think about the isolation, the social isolation, that was already impugned on me because of an illness or disease, whatever you want to call it. But inherently, it comes down again to my ability to be able to recognize what's having effect on me.
Right.
And again, this is just like the 12-step programs and stuff. You can't tell an addict that he's got to go to 12-step program and actually think that it's going to have a good effect on him. He's got to want to do it himself. Same concept. You got to want to know what's going on here in order to look at it in retrospect and review your own participation in it.
Yeah, you got to know. That's what no one else can change it. The paradigm except you. Yeah.
Well, as you read that, I thought a lot about the channels that I'm familiar with, and I thought not in our sector. I wouldn't say not in our sector. Do we have at least I would assume so many hosts or content creators that are needing to put on their brave face with their whatever, shtick they're selling kind of thing. I mean, I think we all put on masks when we head out into the real world, whether it's online or the real world, to a certain extent, we don't bring all our problems to the forefront. So at least I would say it's one of the advantages of this little neck of the woods would be that people get called out on their shit. And, I don't think that content creators have the same picture problems they painted there. Now, that being said, on the same note, from my experience online, online experience was super therapy, provided a lot of therapy, but what provided me a lot of therapy was the therapy I went and sought out as a result of what I saw, as a lifelong pattern in my life based on how I was received online, in addition to how I responded, right? So not only was it therapeutic, but it also inspired me to seek out therapy, right? So,
because you saw like a feedback loop of yourself, a reflection, huh?
Exactly. And sort of like a short version of long games of influence. And, I'm just someone who didn't really ever assume anyone lied, I just didn't assume people played with people that way. Now, I get that we'll all, anyone can not tell a whole truth to someone. It's not necessarily anyone's business, but I'm just saying, I didn't realize till I came online how much people play each other. And online, it's hyper amplified, right? So
absolutely,
you don't realize that, in family settings or in friend settings where people are saying one thing to your face, they may be leaving the room and secretly whispering to other people without any paranoia. I always took things way more at face value than understanding the actual nature of human behavior, right? So
right. But Bex, you beautifully said. I mean, you hit some stuff that I've been thinking about too. But I'll add this though. I do think though we don't really know. At least I don't really know that. Even though we don't have the Pokemons and the Osmond Gold type of celebrity, but in our own right, we have micro celebrities in the panelverse, we could say,
Mhm.
and who's to say that they might be putting on a face unless we talk to them offline? Like let's do, for example, the last 2 days on this broadcast, NPC the game, we've had 2 big hitters in the past in there, micro celebrities, Paul Enslaved and Jack Telcott, for example,
Yeah.
and like in their own way, both of them are this is so surreal. Both of them have gone through probably fucking pain and whatnot because of the panelverse.
It's true.
In
It's true.
some,
I'm not
you
trying
know?
to minimize. Yeah, definitely not trying to minimize the problems or the fact that people may not.
Yeah, I know you're not,
People may
but-
be doing something. Yeah, that may be beneficial, but also deleterious or whatever the word would be. Right. So,
Yeah.
but we also are talking about people, 2 specific people who streamed every day for
Mhm.
over 1,000 days. Right. So they're
Yeah.
a vacation would be due anyone. Like doing anything
Right.
that wrong. Right.
Right.
Like. It doesn't matter. I'm not even talking
If
about
you're a
online.
garbage man
So,
or something.
yeah, like anything, right? So, yeah, I think it's great, but I do think that those problems definitely face people, and online with brands and maybe different. What am I trying to say? Different. Focused content that people bring to their platforms. Luckily we're basically, we do exist in a group of people who tend to have like sort of open discussion panels, even if they're focused on topics or debates or what have you. Whereas sometimes people come online just to talk about, whatever it is that I don't even know, but like whatever soul trap stuff or whatever stuff I've never, flat earth every day, like it's just that, yeah.
Numerology.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I wanna go ahead and I want to touch on Sam High says a streamer has to be strong to
Thanks,
not
Wizard.
a streamer has to be strong to not let criticism affect them because it can be brutal and constant. And, that's one of the things I touched on when I first started watching these panels to begin with first, and then I started getting on panels, and I thought, this is kind of just like initiation hazing, except it goes on day in and day out. So it's not actually hazing; it's that part of getting involved in a drama platform for a popularity contest is the way I see it.
For sure. Yeah. Popularity, regardless if you want it or not, the likes and views definitely push you through the algorithm. Definitely, yeah. Even if you say it's not for the money or whatever, Comment from somewhere. Time Bex, you talk. What the hell is this?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not even interested in engaging, to be honest.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's just that people can, anyone that has a problem with me, it was a pushback, and it was 6 or 7 months ago after something that had happened a year prior. It's like, drop it. It's not worth the attention. Forget about it.
Forget about
What's
up,
it.
Lindsay?
And
Good to see
whatever, whatever pushback someone got once was deserved. She's talked about it way more than I ever said anything. So.
Okay. And don't get me wrong. Thank you for sharing, but you're not trying to push that negativity so much right here. Maybe let's go with this. This right here. So some of the things for streaming. This is one of the things that streamers have to deal with. I guess they're saying in this article. Always on. You always have to be on quotation marks. Always on. Unlike YouTubers and influencers who publish content, streamers need to get broadcast in order to get viewers. The more you stream, the higher chances of growing your channel and attracting sponsors. Let's take this with a grain of salt. Like we're not like Mr. Beast. He's not a live streamer, or we're not iShowSpeed, or or Destiny. But with that said, see if you can scale this to our section of the Panelverse, all of the above section when I read this, okay? Scale down probably. Taking a break could equal losing viewers. Because remember, Bex was just talking about everyone needs a break, especially if you're streaming every day. When famous YouTubers, streamers, Ninja took a 2-day break. Listen to this. In 2019, he lost 40,000 subs. Wow, just in 2 days. Audiences also expect consistency, which makes streamers spend as much as 12 hours, people do that here, per day in front of their camera. And that paints at that point, a relaxing hobby risks becoming a burden, leading to stress and burnout. No matter how great a job might seem, you still need a healthy work-life balance. And if you're afraid to take a day off to run errands because your subscriber count will drop, you're putting yourself under dangerous levels of pressure.
And that's one thing I've always mentioned. I don't care about my numbers. I put out certain information to put out information as a matter of communicative, conversative, and educational material. That's it.
I get it. Yeah, that is a top priority. Definitely educating and sharing. Well, I'll be lying if I said I don't like numbers. I would love to run it up, but for the right reasons,
Right.
though. With the right content.
Yeah, same thing here. I wish the numbers were better. I really do.
Yeah.
But I can't affect that except by putting the information out the best way I know how. If I can learn a way that I can put it out better and and generate those numbers, but those numbers are genuine people that are genuinely interested in the information and will use it, it's the feed a man a fish for a day. You feed a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Feed him for a lifetime by teaching him.
Exactly. That's the best way to go. Yeah. Yeah. Look within, like you're teaching with the numerology and finances. It all resonates.
I hope so.
Yeah. So here's another one. You constantly have to outdo yourself. The earlier stages of streaming are usually the most pleasant ones. That's true, huh? But the more the community grows and perhaps becomes an important source of revenue, the more streamers find themselves chasing numbers. Streamers will start comparing themselves to other people, hyper analyzing their views and subscriber counts. Making content is no longer a matter of being yourself. Rather, it becomes a constant struggle to outdo yourself. Capitalize on internet trends and please the digital crowds, which leads to burnout. In a 2018 video, Twitch streamer Lurk confessed that streaming is like going on stage every day and not knowing what to say anymore because you're out of material. That's what I feel like when I don't have a lesson plan at school. Streamers can feel trapped in that kind of content that they create but put on a persona and continue to create it because that's what makes audiences happy. Thus, a project starts out of passion, can become a chore. Wow. Thoughts?
Yeah,
That's definitely true. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I never got into the live stream thing too much, man. I did like 2 live streams, and I think one of them I had Dom on there, and the other one I just kind of talked, and then I got away from it. I do a lot more of the pre-recorded. I'll just go on,
which is epic.
I'm invited.
Dom is that African American dude?
No, Dom, who was in your chat earlier.
Oh, that you
I
had
believe
him
he's
on there?
African
Oh
American.
shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he just kind of popped up, and we just had a nice 2-hour conversation. But he's definitely, he's got some wisdom. I'm always willing
Definitely
to listen
does.
to my elders and soak in that wisdom, you know.
So you said that you didn't do any. So you didn't really like the live streaming. Did you feel uncomfortable? Maybe.
No. I had the ultimate realization that the whole, like, obviously I had a purpose with what I was doing, but it's oversaturated and it's watered down. So in the sea of people trying to preach the same thing about, you know, the screen name in itself is enough of a message. That's all it is. It's a message that was given to me. It's a message for other people, and obviously you're going to see it other places. So that's it. That's all. That was the whole point of it. Was just to bring awareness to people, because awareness is the first step in solving any problem. And obviously there's a worldwide issue, you know, with people's consciousness and or lack thereof. But that's not my problem to solve. That's their problem to solve.
Right.
And that's
Absolutely.
exactly what I came to the realization of. So it's not really, you know, that's why I'm focusing on different
And you
avenues.
can never really be aware of what someone's conscious of.
Right. No, exactly.
You know?
You're right. But I realize too there's different levels of consciousness, and not even everyone has the same comprehension level.
Well, and the most
to
important thing would
say
be
nice
people
things.
articulating their consciousness, right? Like, so there's lots
Yeah.
of people out there that would never talk about some of the things that we talk about online. Even if they were
No.
surrounded by people that talk about them, like they may be conscious of them, you know, like I just think that there's so much more to the way our minds work than how we can communicate with one another with words. And I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, when the vapor canopy was perfect and we didn't need to eat or shit and we could just think of each other like, oh my God, it was perfect. Language confuses them. No, language is meant to be muddled through and, you know, and hacked through. But, you know, we're really spoiled to be amongst people that we're so used to being able to talk about almost anything, right? That out there, I would say, you know, we can sit back and talk about levels of consciousness, but what keeps me, you know, in a place of hope is understanding like how much I kept to myself before I found people, like-minded people online. So, you know, it gives me hope that there's more to the concept of consciousness than how we vocalize and agree on things. To understand how conscious people can be, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, consciousness is technically just
Willful
dreaming with brain
NPCs.
activity, right? But you know, and that subconscious, right? That subconscious, that shared, the idea of magnetosomes and potentially, you know, what
may
sort
I?
of things we might share. Yeah, please.
And that's the distinction. Actually, the subconscious is the intangible. The consciousness, however, cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed from one state to another. So the consciousness is actually a verb. It's a
Oh yeah, I definitely
transformation,
see that.
much like manifestation.
Yeah,
You
Pedro,
can,
I say on this podcast. Sorry to interrupt real quick. I say selfing. We always talk about the self. You know, we're in Aries month. The self. It's all about the self. I think it's more like a verb. This consciousness, like we call it selfing. What we're doing actually, because we're constantly in motion and flux.
correct. The living
Yeah.
soul as an adjective is a mere description rather than using a noun to describe, but a living soul, which is an adjective to describe a verb.
Mm-hmm.
Verbal
Absolutely.
verbal transformation, adjective.
Yeah.
You guys get it. You guys get it.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. Here's another
I
part of
try.
the you try. You are. Yeah. So here's another part of the document. You can we already did that one. Dealing with bullies, trolls, and negativity. Here we go. Being a public internet figure comes with a lot of scrutiny, bullying, and trolling and negativity. For streamers, things are more difficult than for social media influencers because they see comments in real time as they are streaming. On the other hand, this way of communicating has its perks because it allows for more genuine interactions. However, there's absolutely no filter. The brain has a tendency to dwell on the negatives, and in time, internet comments can affect your self-esteem and body image. Just about every streamer has seen negative or even downright scary remarks appear on the screen as they were, playing a game or live streaming, and went on despite them. This problem is almost pervasive among female streamers who get a concerning number of sexual comments. Yeah. So just keep going. Trolls. Any thoughts on trolls? Dealing with trolls and negativity?
Well, that's the whole
just
thing. That's the whole thing with the hazing and stuff. That's where it comes from, is people trolling, which I think is a majority of the people.
Yeah. Speaking of that, it's Mike. What's up, Mike? What do you got? How you doing?
What's going on? Hey, everybody!
Yeah.
Salute. But
Yeah.
the whole notion of trolling is interesting because there are people that are they're in action. They react to trolling. Like if they get trolled, they react back. But there are people that, like myself or other people that I know, will come up and have great conversations. They don't want to go there until they're attacked. Until they're attacked first, and then they go into troll mode, and I take pride. I don't take pride in some of the stuff I've said and done, but I take pride in I don't attack till I'm attacked. But it's really an amazing case study. If you get into psychological things with this YouTube experience, it is very interesting. You have to admit, it's very interesting to see the way people react. And I'll tell you one thing, gentlemen. I'm not sure if there's one lady, gentlemen and ladies, there's people will act one way online and differently in real life. The one thing about me personally is I act the same in both sectors. But there are a lot of people that will take liberties because they're online and they'll run their mouth. They'll say the most egregious stuff that you've ever heard in your life, but they will never say it to your face. So maybe, and I think this, I was talking about this with someone else earlier, maybe YouTube is the ultimate free therapy. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was pointing at. That it is therapy. One, is you don't have to pay a copay. So yeah, I can see that. Yeah. But here's what I'll say. I'll say this though. To your other point about being the same person, that's great if you do that, because I think that's a goal for some of us. I have to be honest. Like I used to say that a lot. Like I'm authentic. And I think a lot of the people that know me probably would say that I'm the same offline that I'm all. But however, I'm gonna keep it 100. I have to admit I do have a certain persona that I push up at least a little bit when I'm on here, but hopefully it's not done in a dickish way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I'll say to that.
And I'm not. Listen, I'm not going to make this about me. All I'm trying to say is that people will focus on certain people, and they will hone in on them, make entire channels about them, make whole episodes about them, because the bottom line is this: they hate us because they ain't us. Everything in life is about energy. They want to be like you. They want to be more like you. And they hate the fact when someone comes on and just has a good conversation, they go crazy when they see that. They as in the negative people and the negativity people see that, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same token, drama sells, right, guys? Drama sells. So
yeah, because you're cracking me up. I was like, what the hell? You have beef with Wizard? Because I guess you were trolling. I said, this motherfucker's funny though.
Exactly. Like, so while he's trolling and I didn't respond, I'm not one of those people that responds, therefore not negative, right? See, this is what Becca was talking about earlier. When people want to play those ad hominem attacks, it's not an attack to me. It's comedy.
If you can, and I call it light trolling. So if I say it to El Piro, you know, something very light, I'm not saying he's a bad person or anything like that, but like you're getting his goat, but you're not making him furious. But what I'm trying to say is it brings that fire out in the person. So you're trolling together. But the problem is that, the problem is that people go overboard. They people have talked about my kids having relations, my wife.
That's not right at all. Off limits, bro.
But other content creators laugh about it. It's just YouTube.
It's not just YouTube.
All I'm trying to say is this: there's YouTube and there's real life. I'm just saying this, and gentlemen, please don't take this the wrong way. In real life, they wouldn't say it to your face because they may catch, or I may catch a charge. That you know, you can read between the lines. But I'm saying people will say
what you mean, bro.
Yeah, and see
I know what you mean.
And I understand that distinction, but let's make sure it's clear, because I wear this mustache every day of my life in every venue I go to, and I go to city council meetings, and I talk to the city leaders, and I tell them about how I see Americans slowly turning into Hitler's willing executioners. Now, if you want me to stand here and start calling you all communist bastards again, I will. I have no problem doing that. The court records will show that. I'm not one to shut up.
It's great to have somebody with the same level of energy to push somebody to get them to kind of make the show more lively, but we're not going to people's families or anything like that, you know. But like, I've been subjected to the most disgusting things. I had a guy put my grandson's picture as his avatar. I've had people contact my ex-wife I mean, I've had disgusting things, and we're talking about over YouTube words. It's not that serious, you know.
But you say it's not that serious, and that this could be true to you, but other people don't see it like that. Even what they do is horrible. You know what I mean? So we can say that, but we got to remember that not everyone sees it like that. Even though you may be right on 100%. You know, people are saying this is the first time they've seen you. They're surprised.
And BC, you have two options. You can either walk away from the entire platform, or you can continue to fight. You continue to fight and expose them. Someone asked me this.
There's three. Or there's one. Excuse me, real quick, Mike, respectfully. Or you can just, not do anything, not even acknowledge them, and do your thing.
Yeah,
you can do that.
Someone asked me one time. This was about a year ago. Someone asked me straight out, because I have entire channels made about me. Entire channels. Someone asked me, why do you continue to come back and get beat on? I said, because it exposes the people for their hypocrisy. They will talk about one thing you said 3 years ago, but they will say things 15 times worse. So the whole point, I'll get right to the point. The whole point is you can't judge them, but they can judge everything you do. And that's the hypocrisy of YouTube. What do you guys think?
Yeah, they could definitely judge. Everybody has the power to define. My thing is, like, if I really don't like somebody, you'll never know it, because I won't give them the time of day. Because there's people like that try to goat me. I won't acknowledge what the videos about me too. Not whole channels like you. Good for you on that. They really got to them, but they've done videos about me. I'm like, I won't even bring that shit up, man. Because as it is, they have a lonely existence, probably a pathetic existence, and I'm not gonna. I might want to be a part of resonate with that energy. So my thing is, like, let it be. Just let it be, man. Like John Lennon said, let it be. Fuck them. Fuck them. Simple. Let me move on to the next one. Unless somebody else. Go ahead, Perro.
Well, I just wanted to clip on to the end there, because, see, he's absolutely right. You just let it be. Because when I go to city council and I run my mouth the way I do wearing this short mustache, they just let it be. They're not triggered like you.
Yeah.
I get it. I think I heard you before, Mike, on Jack Talkout. You were talking about how people were all up against you. You gone on there before?
Oh no, it's Jack is the tip of the iceberg. I've been on channels. I mean, I do cross. What would you call it? Not panels, but like they call it the sector, cross sectors. Like I'll go into sectors.
You said the tip of the iceberg.
And I'll go into channels that have 2,000 or 3,000 people watching, and we have a normal conversation. But then when I come back to these drama sectors, it's just F you, mother effer. It's just like, it gets so old so fast. And it's just, the bottom line is this, gentlemen and young lady, the bottom line is this: in the drama sector, there's a lot of mental health issues. There's a lot of mental health issues, a lot. And
there is.
Yeah. And people.
But my thing is, like, what do we see in, like, I asked everyone in this panel earlier, I don't know if you saw it, but it's like, what, not necessarily what your mental health issues are, but we must have it if we're all in the same place. If this thing's like this, because my thing is, like, there wasn't any drama up until you got up here, and you're being very graceful and polite with it. We were just theorizing in it per se, because I was reading these things, we were giving our advice, but obviously I'm picking up the cues that Keith and you had some type of whatever, drama, I'll say, in the past, and you're literally showing us the drama a little bit, and I thank you for that, for not being a jerk about it. And let me keep going with this, because I don't have much time. Look within. Where'd you go? You're back. Okay, you're back.
I pressed the wrong button again.
Yeah. I appreciate your testimony, though, Mike. It's really good. Next one, the pressure of what does it say? The pressure of shit. Okay. The pressure of parasocial relationships. So even though they've never personally met them, it's quite common for viewers to turn to streamers for mental health support and picture them as friends after watching so many hours of their content. In psychology, these are called parasocial relationships, something that a streamer told me about years ago. I need to get on. to learn about. And while they may be the keys to growing online communities, they're also detrimental to streamers' mental health. For example, some viewers may put pressure on streamers, demanding that they know more about their personal lives, or becoming aggressive when they take a break from streaming or don't upload their content. As streaming communities grow, parasocial relationships inevitably develop, and things can degenerate into stalking and harassment. Thoughts, panel?
No, you're right. You're right. I was a part of a large. I was a part of a very large panel who was a drama channel, and I said I'm going to take not a mental health break. I'm just going to take a break. I'm going to take a vacation from you. I left for 2 weeks, and for a week and a half, they made videos about me, making fun of me, trying to get me back. Just like tonight, there's other channels saying, well, he's too much of a P word to come up here. He's scared to come up here. He's terrified. Let me tell you something. If you know anything about me, I can roast the piss out of anybody, but I'm not going to come up if someone says, come fetch dog. I'm not going to do it. You know, so people will
on your terms, you're saying, right?
It just shows they care about you.
You got it. People will try to, no, they don't care about you, brother. They want you for content. They don't care about you.
But what's the common denominator, Mike? All these people hate you. There must be something that you've done to spur this type of reaction.
Clicks and views.
I'm not saying, you know what I mean?
Just clicks and views.
That's strange. That's hard. That's hard for me to see. I mean, I'll take your word for it.
I'll go on to a panel. It'll be 15 people, and all of a sudden it's 60, 70 people. And I'm not special. I'm not special.
Actually, my numbers have gone down since you've been here. No disrespect.
Yeah. No, but it's like, because people want people to start fighting each other. We're not fighting. So that's why. But we're not fighting each other. We're having a conversation.
But we were having a good conversation like we are now. Earlier, and I mean, the numbers were going up and up too. So it depends, man. If anything, if that's the case, if that's the panel verse on default, all of the above sector on default, maybe I'm here to try to retrain people or point them in a direction that's not like that, because I'm kind of sick of that type of stuff, man. I don't know about y'all.
I personally took a channel that was stuck on 450 for years. I'm talking about years. They were on 450 for years. And within 1 year, they're now at 900. So did I help in that? I think I did help in that, because I took so much abuse over that year. But all of us play a part in growing a channel. You know, we all take a part.
We all do, yeah. I got a milestone for this channel, even though I have other ones, bigger ones than this. I got 500 subs yesterday, thanks to a lot of the people on the panel right now. So thank you. Let me do this. I got one more because I'm a teacher. I got to teach some creative writing. I have a couple high school classes I'm teaching on Saturday over here in Taiwan. Where you at, Mike? Are you in the wilderness, North America?
I'm in Virginia.
Okay, cool, nice. I haven't been out there yet, man. I need to get out there.
I grew up in New York. I grew up in Queens, in New York in the city, but I'm in Virginia now.
Oh, Queens, man. Yeah. I love New York. I had fun visiting there. Yeah, I don't know how it is to live there, but it's definitely, to me, it's one of the best cities in the world.
It's awesome
to visit.
And I wanted to follow up on that, because I mentioned that earlier as well. This is the aspect I mentioned about when we get on this metaverse and we introduce ourselves and associate with people on this panelverse and the channels and stuff. That's the parasocial relationship we have, but it usually doesn't develop into a real friendship as a course of actions here, not for the general majority. And the general majority that was mentioned was stalking cases. Now that seems to happen quite often. That's why they came out with the street beefs and stuff.
The beef sector, yeah, that's wild, bro. Literally called the beef. It already was a beef all over the place, but they literally have a sector called the beef sector. That's wild.
I had it so bad.
Go ahead,
Bex.
I could. Well, I mean, I couldn't. It would provide consent from the other party, but I'm under an hour and a half away from Old Joe, so Old Joe and I could easily do a meetup.
Old Joe's brilliant, man.
Yeah. I'm saying,
Yeah,
like,
everybody likes old Joe.
geographically, it would be easy. I don't, I'm not trying to say that I've talked to old Joe about doing that. I just know
Yeah.
that we talked about the weather. We're so close.
Yeah. Well, Bex, did you hear what yesterday Joe Cool, speaking of the Joes, Joe Cool was saying, because Cynthia had brought up the fact that like the panel versus so toxic, all the meetups that she's been to have gone like people literally fighting, and Joe Cool was like, I don't know what you're talking about. All the YouTube meetups I have, like I've had like almost 100 or something like that. They've all been great. We've all gotten along super good, And granted, his sector is the auditor sector, I guess, cop watching, right? But he was like, we're good, we're good. So it depends. Like our community here, right here, we've been good, Y'all know I don't do the fuck shit really.
And thanks for bringing that up, because that's one aspect I didn't think about. But as soon as you brought that up, when people do meet, that aspect is generally around people like Joe, who is probably the one that initiates it, because he's the one that travels.
Right.
So one or more of these people, people that travel around. Panelverse is generally people that are sitting in their mom's basement or some shit like that.
This is the last one I'm getting to. That's exactly, you hit the nail on the head, bro. Check this out. This is the last one about streamer mental health. Wow. Okay, it says sedentary and unhealthy lifestyles. Quite often, professional streamers have to spend 8+ hours, sometimes 11, guys, right? Sitting at their desks, looking at a computer screen, while video games and panel streamers are on their computers. In general, aren't damaging to one's health in moderation. A sedentary lifestyle increases the risk of stress, anxiety, and depression. We should also point out that many streamers don't have time to eat a proper meal between streaming sessions and rely on energy drinks to keep them going. Energy drink brands are one of the primary sponsors in streaming. That's true. All these combined can make a mental health problem worse. Streaming can be a dream job and hobby. I'll add that. However, it can also cause unhealthy levels of stress and anxiety that are often dismissed. Like any hobby or career choice, it has its risk, and it's important for streamers to prioritize self-care and reach a balance between on-screen time and personal life. There you go. There you go, panel. Yeah.
Absolutely. Amazing how that was a nice, what do they call that, segue?
Segue. Perfect. That means that you're plugged in. You're on it. We're on it. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Cool. Yeah. Joe Cool. I've talked to Joe Cool multiple times for over the past couple of years, but he's a great guy. But yeah, we were on a panel where the guy came on and he was like a super racist. He was a super racist guy, and me and Joe were like
a lot of those in the panelverse. Yeah.
we were really chill with him. We tried to talk the guy down, but it was a wild stream.
Yeah, I bet, man.
Joe's a great dude, man. Yeah,
he is. And you've been cool too. Like I'm happy you came up. Thank you. Yeah, let's make these streams more like keep the positive. I get it, the drama. It's gonna happen on default. The world is a crazy place, but I'm going to do my part to facilitate, a cool place where we can hang out and learn and stuff, and have fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get. I have some. I'm being a bad boy. I have some literature tests I have to correct before I go to class. I didn't do it yet. I'm too busy having fun with y'all.
Aids for everyone.
What'd you say?
I said aids
that's
for
the easy way to do
everyone.
it.
That's it. Well, salute to you, my friend. Salute to you. I'll definitely come back. Have a great night, everyone. So have a great night. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Mike.
You as well, sir.
Thanks for coming up, Mike.
You're welcome. I'll see you. I'll see you again.
Okay. Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. That's almost ominous. But
yeah. Thanks for the threat.
Yeah, exactly the way you said that.
I'll come back.
Take care, Mike.
I'll come back. All right. Take care.
All right, bro.
It's
Peace.
good company. It's good company.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Thank you for having me up, bro. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Again, always good to talk
Good to see you, Aldab.
Hit me up anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna do the whole TML thing, and I'll probably end up sending links out before broadcast to y'all, especially you three. Maybe some other people, but especially you guys. I really appreciate you helping me ride out, because sometimes it's hard. The monologues can be kind of awkward and uncomfortable, but it's great to have good people up here that add value. Yeah. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you for having
Yeah,
me,
of course.
and a pleasure to see you all, and great to see everyone in chat. And I'll catch you next
Yeah.
Good to
time.
see you,
So
Bex.
have a
Good to
great
see you,
Next
Liz.
weekend.
time. See you next time, Bex.
You bet. Be blessed, all.
Be blessed,
Later,
y'all.
bro. Much love.
Much love. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah, what's up? What's up? What say you? What say you? Good to see you. I didn't even say what's up to Pixel. Good to see you. I saw you here from the beginning, bro, pretty much. Dom, legend, we need to get you up here next time. I remember you were killing it. Was it like a month ago? I saw you on there. I got out there for a minute on over there on OTW. I think he's streaming right now. Yeah, Lindsay, I need to make you a mod. Good to see you, definitely. Thanks for coming by. You're a legend. Yeah, blessings. Yeah, and then I didn't tell you guys that this stream about mental health. It's funny how life happens, and you realize like, holy shit, we've been through a lot. You know, so much stuff has happened. You look at this. Oh, Moo, what's up, Moo? Mama, much love, always, always. Yeah. Um, you look at this. You look at this. Our lives, and we forget like what got us to here, and how the synchronicities are everywhere. Like this therapy. Like I'm looking at YouTube. What brought me here? I see a picture of my mom. You know, right there, she was going. Anita, she was going through battling bulimia. Right there, anorexia, and at that time was probably when I was like 7 or 8, and a couple years before that, when I was like 3 or 4, I had to live with my grandmother because she was in a psychiatric hospital. You know, healing herself from bulimia. You know, and I remember how I used to love. Cause I'm from San Jose, California. Lived in Oakland, California, but predominantly from San Jose, California, which is about an hour and 20 minutes south, Silicon Valley, of San Francisco, which is we call the city. And as a South Bayer, you always want to go to the city. And I always remember I used to love going to the city ever since I was young. And it wasn't until years later that I put 2 and 2 together. The reason why I loved going to the city is because I got to go visit my beautiful mom when she was at Langley Porter Hospital, psychiatric hospital, you know? So, yeah, man, mental health is a thing. You need to have good mental hygiene for sure. Take care of yourself. And shout out to my lovely queen, Rebecca, and our Prince Ben. This is you, Ben. This is for you, this channel, as we say. This is, yes, that's all. I appreciate you. You're sweet. What? Yeah, man. Like, yeah, you can relate. It's a thing, man. Funny, my mom was a big Karen Carpenter fan, and that was she was battling it, anorexia, bulimia. She lost the battle, we can say. Karen Carpenter, and she met with that. She said, "Wow, Gabe, she must have been strong to have worked through it." Yeah, she was super strong to work through those demons, and only. And then years later, when I was in 7th grade, 8th grade, I found out she had ovarian cancer, and she fought cancer for 11 years, chemotherapy. You know, if I would have known now, I would have got her on some alternative methods. But you know, it is what it is. I was young. Yeah, and you'll see it through the outro, intro, the journey of my mom with this Linda Ronstadt song that I grew up listening to that has even more of a special meaning to me. Right? It means in our sadness can be beautiful. Linda Ronstadt's voice is very beautiful, but it has that era of crying to it, that tone of crying that makes it so much real. And I have to say, I love you all. This outro intro gets to me. I love my mom for all the music she brought me, and it's like a time machine. I really appreciate this. And Ben, this channel's for you. Like I said, my journal, my electric journal for you. Ben, don't forget I made you strong, and no one's ever gonna fuck with you, ever. If you listen to what's really going on. Much love to the chat. Much love to the chat. I love you guys. I mean it. Shout out to my mom. And be good to each other. Love your moms and dads. Peace. NBC The Game Live. See you next time. Tomorrow, we're streaming Spiritual Elitism. I love you, Nita.
I feel so bad, I got a worried mind. I'm so lonesome all the time.